was Caesar's workshop. Nothing suspicious here, just normal magic props. Let's head in further. What was that? Oh, is this one of Caesar's gadgets? Sentry must have triggered some sort of device.
And voila!
Teamwork is dreamwork! Let's light it up!
Whoa. Look, the doll in the box is glowing. There's something written on the card on this doll. Let's take a closer look. These magic boxes are moving. What do we do?
One of them looks different from the rest. Let's investigate.
That's weird. Have we reached the end already? There's nothing here. Maybe this was a wasted trip.
This place seems a little too ordinary for a magician's work. We've triggered quite a few devices on the way here. I'm starting... If so, then there must be more to this place than meets the eye. Maybe, hidden rooms... Aha! If I just move this book, then hope...
A secret passage with...
I'm a magician too, and apparently Great Mind looks pretty big inside. Let's head in and take a look around. A round of applause! Oh! Here comes the finale. Step right up.
Why have you stopped, Lenny? Is there...
It just looks familiar somehow. Let me check this out for a second while you guys go on ahead. If anyone makes a major discovery, let's rendezvous here.
All right, see you in a bit. Wow! There's a hidden room here! Let's see! Oh, this bookcase is full of Caesar's own notes! He wrote a lot about the principles of magic. This book's thick as a brick! Let's take a peek inside it.
At one of my shows a few days ago, as a joke, I told the kid that the hat has a built-in wish-granting machine. Next thing I know, today a whole bunch of... So I told them another white lie. The machine needs time to power up, but in the meantime, you can write your wishes down. Well, they took me up on that offer, enthusiastically. As I write this, I've only just got back. I wound up saving very little this month, but that's not a major issue. 2 children came to talk to me. Anyway, they said that they wanted me to... I told them that It seems like something's bothered. Surely he's not upset that I agree. I have a good feeling about... They have all sorts of fantastic ideas. They wanted to call me with time. I have no doubt that they could become... Gemma thinks so too. It's nearly time for me to go. I once overheard them. It's only been 10 days. They're very tough. They hide... That's the thing about children. I can sense that their lives have been... After thinking things over, I decided to tell them a bit about how... P.S. I hope they won't find my nagging. P.P.S. Oh, Caesar, Caesar.
2 magic geniuses with a father and a mission, huh? Sounds a lot like he was writing about Lenny and... So did they meet Caesar when they were kids? Lenny?
Shh, hold that thought. As I expected,
Fishy?
all in good time. First, the magician slots themselves into a magic box, and at this point, meanwhile, the real magician, who has by now oh no! His
Very vivid description.
The audience's gaze then turns to... Of course, that's just how I think the process should work. The inventor of this trick never performed it successfully. He fell right to the ground from the highest point of the opera house. And no one else has ever attempted this trick since. My
So Caesar's famous high-altitude escape has never been done, huh? Paimon was about to say how cool it would have been to see it in person. Wait a second. So if a dummy's supposed to drop out of the...
Glad you asked. That brings us to the secret. This box right here is the one that Caesar constructed himself to use in the performance. And it's not as... Once the magician's inside, and the box is lifted up into the air, the audience is... From where they're standing, they have a clear view of the front, sides, and bottom. At this point, the magician presses a button inside the box, opening a secret door out of view. He then escapes through this trap door onto the opera house roof, waits for the dummy to...
That's way simpler than Paimon imagined.
Well, there's a little more to it than that, of course. The hardest part of this trick, there's the falling dummy, the miraculous reappearance, the pompous performing. Maybe the magician would even have themselves tied up before it begins. Many days and nights of careful research and painstaking practice would have gone into this, all culminating in a performance just a few minutes long. But Caesar was a highly accomplished magician.
So, how did it go so wrong? You said you found some fishy stuff.
I can make a pretty good guess. I looked into the case files. The magic box Caesar was using at the time of his death had the secret button I mentioned positioned on the right-hand side.
Okay. Nothing suspicious.
But here's the strange thing. Most of the devices in this workshop have the mechanism on the left-hand side, including this box right here. Because a magician can't afford to have their most basic habits stand out too much. People naturally, but a magician needs to be able to redirect an audience's attention. The essence of magic is getting people to believe a lie. If even the... And so, Caesar trained himself to use his right hand to align with his audience's expectations. But in his most stressful and nerve-wracking moments, and when no one was watching, reflex would kick exactly. I think that's likely what happened. Caesar would have been under a lot of time pressure during the escape. He'd have had mere seconds to, but I'm sure he was confident. He would have rehearsed countless times to the point where it was second. So he opened the compartment, took out the dummy, checked everything was in order, and then went to leave. With his left hand, he reached for much like when you reach for your keys but find your pocket empty, his mind needed a moment to... Instinctively, his left hand would keep feeling around for the missing button, maybe for another second or two, until the bottom of the box gave way. With the stakes being as high as they were, just a 2-second delay cost him everything.
When in reality, someone switched the boxes. And they did it, but how would they be able to make the switch without being noticed? That would be difficult.
It would have to have been someone who knew that he was left-handed, and who could move his props around without arousing suspicion. Isn't that right, Lorenzo?
You just couldn't let sleeping dogs lie, could you? There's not a lot of people who'd go to all this trouble for some magician who died 10 years ago. I didn't want to have to do this, you know. But I gave you your chance. I hoped you'd do what's good for you and back off like the lady, but...
You mean Gemma? So you are the one who's been threatening her!
Yes, although however stubborn she might be, she was never much of a liability. But you people, you never even knew him, but for some reason you just... Which is why you can't leave this place alive.
Do your worst!
And voila!
To ashes!
Verdict is... Burn!
Step right up! A round of applause!
Kids are tougher than you look.
Had enough yet, Lorenzo? Your cronies can't help you now. I think it's high time you started talking. And what I'd really like to know is, why did you murder...
If I had a mora for every time you've said that man's name. Of course you idolize Caesar, everyone else did. But he was just an amateur who did cheap tricks for gullible children. I was the one who made magic into the fine art it is today.
So it was jealousy.
Jealousy. Hatred, more like. He poured everything into his street performances and his stupid tours like it was just a hobby to him. But the people loved him, didn't they? Oh, how they looked up to him. Amazing. Yeah, so amazing that he was completely broke. Every other apprentice was living it up at their master's expense, but no, not me. I put in all the work, mastered all the skills, and it brought me... He forbade me from using magic to trick people out of their mora. There was nothing he... And with his reputation in Fontaine, it was too risky for me to go it alone. As long as he was alive, if I dabbled in my own bread, I had to kill him. There was no other way.
And this was your only motive?
It was reason enough. What other motive would I need?
Well, I was under the impression that there might have been other factors at play. For instance, maybe you were in love with Gemma, but she was engaged to Caesar.
In love with Gemma? Don't be ridiculous.
Guess I was wrong about that then. Next.
I am. Caesar was so strict with me. He insisted that his way was the right way. I never bought into any of that. I was more interested in the practical value of magic. Sure enough, it helped me.
Oh, yeah! Charlotte told us that the weasel would steal whatever people valued, no matter how much he was...
That's just how it looked from the outside. What would any thief want with second-rate loot? I've only ever targeted I stole cheap things as a way of practicing my craft. It was other people's overactive...
So, that's the story, huh? Well, I hope you're ready to tell it all.
What choice do I have? You're a pack of wolves, and you've got me between your jaws. You've seen what's here in my lap. So be it. I've enjoyed power and wealth for the last 10 years.
Very well. In that case, I'll contact the guards. Traveler, Paimon, keep an eye on Lorenzo for me. I'll meet...
At least I can finally stop looking.